I think when training, it's super important to be smart about it. If you don't know me, I'm Logan Lesser, a national motocross racer, having won over 15 state championships and an amateur national championship. I'm an extreme sports athlete and ran a marketing agency for over 4 years, growing it to $30,000 a month. And while doing so, was able to travel the world living in Cape Town, South Africa, part-time throughout the past few years. And I've spent nearly $50,000 on mentors, coaches, courses, and education, learning from the best of the best in business, fitness, mindset, racing, and so on. Now I'm sharing what I've learned and growing my community, the Champion Protocol, linked in the description below. And in my opinion and my perspective, like, today is super windy. Like, I'm talking super windy. Like, there's gusts that are literally shaking my truck. Like, Colby just looked at the weather and it says like 19-mile-per-hour gusts or something like that. Like, it's really windy. And right now, I mean, we're at Thunder Valley, and like literally the national was this past weekend. So the jumps, all of them are like super built up and everything. So a lot of them are like shooting you much higher than usual and stuff. And my thought is like, okay, you know what? And the track is it's a little marbly and stuff. So my thought was like, all right, you know what? Today I'm gonna slow it down. I'm just gonna focus on technique stuff. Like, that's all I'm gonna do. Because whenever I focus on technique, usually I end up slowing down anyway. Because, for example, like when I first started working on no clutch, no rear brake, like I can't go hauling ass everywhere because I only have my front brake. So I'd like overshoot every corner. So I had to slow it down a bit to get used to it. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. Is I'm just like, I'm gonna take the risk out of it as much as I can, and with this wind and everything, and instead of just trying to haul ass and go as fast as I can and everything, I'm just gonna slow it down a bit and focus specifically on technique. And specifically today, what I'm gonna be working on is I wanna try and like work on my form and my body position. I'm paying close attention to Jet and how he rides, and I wanna kind of try and mimic that. And then aside from that, I also want to focus on having my finger over the clutch or on the clutch at all times. Now, I've said numerous times in many videos, I never use the clutch, and I never do. However, after watching the top guys ride, and Colby was even telling me he was listening to some podcasts and stuff, they talk about how they have their finger on the clutch all the time. So I'm kind of like, all right, if the pros are doing that, then I'm gonna get used to doing that as well, just so that you can have it whenever. And something I also something that I need to get better at is using the clutch whenever I shift. Like going over the Whopper, like the main triple here at Thunder Valley, coming up to it, like literally I kind of struggle to get my shift, so I have to like let off for a split second in order to get the shift. And I just need to get better at just hitting the clutch super quick so I can get that shift. So having my finger over it all the time will help with that a lot. But that's specifically what I'm going to focus on today, is like my form and having my finger on the clutch all the time. Just slow it down a bit and just focus on those things. Like, that's just my thought versus going out there and like with the wind and kind of just the conditions and everything. I just don't think it'd be the smartest move to go out and just try and go as fast as you can and maybe like put in some long motos and do some sprints and stuff. Like, in my perspective, it's just not the day for that. To me, that's just how I think about it. And I just kind of want to adjust and still get the most out of it that I possibly could. Like, if it was dry as hell, flat, super windy, and like everything was messed up, then there was like the track conditions and stuff, there's no way that I would be trying to put in like 20-minute motos and like sprint, go as fast as I can. Like, it'd be sketchy. Like, in that case, I'd be like, all right, well, I don't want to be like pushing and going super fast today, so I'm just going to focus on a specific technique and focus on something. Like, my big thing is I want to get the most out of everyday riding that I possibly can. So I kind of just look at the conditions, look at the situation that I'm put in and everything, and kind of look at the cards I'm dealt, I guess you could say, and then just play the hand the best way that I can. Which today, with the wind and kind of the conditions of the track and stuff, I feel like, in my perspective, the best thing to do is to slow it down a bit and just focus on technique. So that's kind of the main thing I just want to mention in this quick video, is like, it's okay to slow it down, and it's good to do that, in my opinion, so that you can focus on specific things and stuff. Like, Plus it's a lot safer, you know, like you're not having a ton of risk. Like for example, there's a big triple over here going that way, and the wind is blowing directly this way, and that particular triple is built up big, and there's a lot of air time. So like, I'm not really too worried about even jumping it today, to be honest, because I want to take the risk out of it, you know, like it's practice, it's training day, like I just want to get the most out of it I can. There's no need to add additional risk when it's just not needed and it's not necessary. So yeah, that's just my perspective. But anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Feel free to subscribe for more videos like this if it was, but with that being said, I'm gonna hit the track. Also, if you're a racer, check out my free community linked in the description below. Peace.